What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be another video response that we're going to be doing to a question that was asked from me, or to me I should say. And the question is, at this current stage, with this current Chicago Bulls team, with the aim obviously to go younger, would you rather see the Chicago Bulls make the playoffs, get to the 8th, the 7th seed and make the playoffs and show what a young caliber team can do for the Chicago Bulls? Or would you rather actually go into the tanker mode? Lose as many games as possible, try to secure your top 10 pick, and ultimately head in that direction of trying to lose as much as possible, but not seeing the benefits of seeing your team win and building the confidence from that standpoint. So, it's an interesting video to say the least, and I think I know what a lot of people are going to be heading down, but I'm going to be talking about the positives and the negatives to both, and ultimately what I would like to see in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, and I guess whether or not you believe we should be going and trying to make the playoffs next season. You know, in a really ideal world, maybe the Bulls really do overachieve, or do you think it's better to just cut your losses, try to lose as much as possible, understand that this is a long-term game that we're trying to play here, and maybe you're going to sacrifice this season to do it? So, firstly, we'll take a deeper dive into what it looks like if the Bulls actually make the playoffs. Now, we have talked about this before, but you have to understand this is a very unrealistic circumstance. I mentioned it just in our last video. We lost DeMar DeRozan. We lost our go-to bucket getter. We lost our leading scorer. We lost the guy that even is seen as probably one of our better playmakers on the team. We've lost a lot in DeMar DeRozan. We've also lost our clutch player. So ultimately, there's a lot that has to go right to see the Bulls make the playoffs or even come close to it. But in a hypothetical world that we do make the playoffs, what is the positives of that? Well, I think the biggest positive you could take away from it is that our young guys would have surely have developed. Because I can't see Zach LaVine and Vucevic getting us there on their own. It's even if they still stay here. So guys like Kobe White would have developed even more. Ayo would have developed even more. Patrick Williams would have developed even more. Guys like Dalen Terry, Mateus Bazelis, Julian Phillips, and the list goes on. There are a couple of young guys on this team, even the likes of Josh Giddey. They would have had developed and played well in that team chemistry, playing well together for us to get there. And that means there's, you know, chemistry, as I said, there's confidence, there's a playing style, there's good coaching in there. So there's a lot of positives that goes in regards to a playoff run for this Bulls team. And that is always going to be a positive. When you see young guys develop, that's all we really ask for, especially when we got a young team like this. How can these guys develop into really credible players that can help you win games? If they're getting to the playoffs this season, well, that's exactly what they're going to be doing. They're going to be developing and winning us games. And that is something I'm not going to be mad at if it does happen. And that's the big positive. Another big positive, young guys getting playoff experience. I think this is absolutely essential. Again, the playoffs is just a different game. It's slower. The tempo is a little bit slower as well. The atmosphere is obviously risen. I love playoff basketball just for the atmosphere alone. But because it's more of a tactical game than it is just an open game where, you know, it's like game 60 of the season and no one really has their best team and they're kind of going through the motions type of situation. Sometimes it feels like that when you watch the Bulls or when you watch any team at that point in the season. When you get to playoff basketball, the atmosphere and the tempo and the strategy is taken to a whole new level. And I think players like, again, the Kobe Whites, the Ayos, the Patrick Williams, they need that. And they need that more than just one season. I know some of them have been there. Kobe White has been there. But ultimately, they need more than just one season of that. So that's another direction that we can go down in that regard. Seeing playoff experience be given to a lot of our young guys on this team. I guess the third thing is, it's going to make a lot of people happy. Now, the reason why I say this is because no one likes to lose. I know it might be a necessary thing to happen. We might need to see this Bulls team lose just to get a better future. But let's be honest. We are Bulls fans. We are NBA fans. And there's nothing more in this world than we want than to see this Bulls team win, at least from a basketball standpoint. I think that is just logic. And that's how most Bulls fans will feel. Maybe some of the hardcore fans will think about the long-term future of the Bulls before they really assess anything. That's kind of what we're doing right now. But a casual Bulls fan, which is the majority of Bulls fans, by the way, I know it's very easy to dissect yourself into one certain category as hardcore Bulls fans, but there's about 4, 5, 6 million Bulls fans that follow the Bulls on social media, and there's probably 20, 30 million Bulls fans in general. Most of them will be casual fans. They will want to see this Bulls team win, and they will not care about the long-term future. So it will make a lot of people happy if the Bulls actually really surprise a lot of people and start winning some games. Now let's move over to the second side of things. And that is what happens if the Bulls tank the season, lose and lose and lose, and I guess try to raise up their value in the, the pick categories. Well, obviously, we just mentioned it. If we lose enough, there is a very high chance we will keep our top 10 pick. Now, if we do not lose and lose and lose, and we somehow make the playoffs, it will be very rare to see that top 10 pick come back to the Bulls, as it is owed to the Spurs. So if the Spurs crack their way into the, if the Bulls finish 11th or higher, or lower, I should say, in the draft, the Spurs take our pick. And I don't like that, because next season is supposedly going to be a very strong draft class, where even if you're not first in the draft, which of course I think we all would like to see, we'd like to see us finish first, even if you finish in the top 10, you're most likely going to get a very strong player. One could say a stronger player than what we ended up getting in this draft class. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Mateus Bazelis will absolutely ball out for the Bulls and show exactly why we selected him. But again, you're in for a strong draft class next season. And I do think you have to keep some of your focus into the long-term future of the Bulls. It's as simple as that in that regard. That's the only reason to tank. You tank to get a better pick. You tank so you can start seeing this Bulls team really pick its direction for the future. Obviously, the negative for that is that this Bulls team might lose some confidence. Losing doesn't really help anything in terms of team chemistry, team morale, team understanding, maybe even liking each other. Stuff like that. It doesn't really help any of that. So I guess the best saying for this is winning does really fix everything. And if you see your Bulls team win, life's good. The Bulls fans are happy. The Bulls players are happy. The Bulls coaching staff is happy. The Bulls front office is happy. Everybody's happy if we win. But if you lose, no one's going to be happy. Unless you're a Bulls fan that just really wants to see us get in the top 10 of the NBA draft, you might be happy to see us lose. If you're looking for the long-term future, Bulls fans might be happy to lose. But I can guarantee you the players and the coaching staff and the front office will not be happy to lose. So that is another situation we could go down. Now, what would I prefer? Because that's the ultimate question. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am a hardcore Bulls fan. So I do take the future into heavy consideration. And here's why I don't need to see the Bulls make the playoffs next season. It's because we have time. When you had DeMar DeRozan, we still have Vucevic and Levine, but you're expecting them to leave this Bulls team. There was no time. It's either compete now or it's bust. Done. That's it. Compete now or get rid of them. And we never really got to see that. We didn't get to see them compete, and only one of them has left. We're now in a situation where the best thing we have is time. So I'd rather the Bulls really consider what their long-term future is going to be and try to aim for that rather than just going to compete in the playoffs. Ultimately, if you're 7th and 8th, like this comment suggested, getting eliminated in the first round, and you're just wondering, why did this even happen? Why did we even get here? Sure, we'll be happy once we get into the playoffs, but once the playoff ends and we get eliminated, everybody's going to be coming around saying, why did we even try to go for the playoffs? And stuff of that nature. So yeah, that's kind of what I think about this situation. You also got to keep in mind, there's a chance that we'll be from the play-in tournament getting into the 7th and the 8th seed. And I don't really want to see the Bulls in the play-in tournament either, just because we really haven't had great luck from that department. So, look, we have a long-term goal, in my opinion, as a team that wants to go younger. I'd rather stick to the plan, go and get that top 10 pick, make sure the Spurs do not get that pick, because again, that's very pivotal for our future, and go from there. And I'll be willing to wait and be patient on what's to come. and that might involve losing a lot of games this season. That's my honest opinion. What do you guys think? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.